Hey everybody, welcome to Game Mess Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from GiantBomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a new Nintendo Direct popping off tomorrow, and is PlayStation canceling another game. It's going to be a good one because we have Seth Macy on the show. Seth, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. I am fired up. I'm ready to talk about Kirby. More than I've ever wanted to talk about Kirby in my life.
I mean, it happens to us all.
Not disparaging. Yeah.
No, it comes for us all in the end. Kirby, so we got to end up talking about Kirby way more than we ever intended to as young men. We reach a certain age, and it's all Kirby all the time. 45, we'll talk about it, but 45 minutes for Kirby. That's Sakurai. He gets what he wants over there. Kirby. He's got a lot of sway, I'll say. How you been, Seth Macy?
I've been very well, thank you very much. I have recovered from a long injury that had kept me out of the game for a while. But I'm back, and I'm training Muay Thai, and I'm going to, if you want to spar or fight me at an event, just give me the word, say the word, and we'll throw down. I
just want a couple of pointers on the Muay Thai. I just want to know, I just want to make it look good. I don't want to actually learn anything. I want you to help me fool people into thinking I might know Muay Thai.
Probably the best thing you can do then is learn like a windmill kick. Because
it
doesn't matter how sloppy. If you could spin around with a kick, people are like, "Wow, that guy is dangerous." But actually, the elbows and the knees that are the most dangerous. Those will cut you.
Yeah,
be careful.
It seems dangerous, violent. I would even say a little bit.
Yeah, but it's all in the name of fun.
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. All right, you know what? Let's explain ourselves. We're Giant Bomb, a small team of video game doofuses who rely on your support so that we can make cool stuff. Today, we're brought to you by MSI. We'll talk about more of that in a little bit. If you want to help us, though, you can go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member, gets you ad-free shows, gets you some other extra goodies. Mostly, it helps us do the dumb stuff you see on this channel constantly. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings, or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Kirby Air Riders Direct revealed for tomorrow, the 19th of August. It's going to happen around, let's see here, 6 a.m. Pacific time. That'll be 9 a.m. Eastern. That's just, they just
thank God.
I know, right? Shrew, we'll be fine. All right, here's from Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. Surprise, Nintendo has announced that it will be holding a special Kirby Air Riders Direct tomorrow. The announcement was made via the Nintendo Today app, where we learned that the showcase will kick off at 2 p.m. BST, blah, 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 6 a.m. We went over the time. It's going to be 45 minutes long. That's a lot of Kirby. What are you expecting from this, Seth?
That's the thing, is if they had just said 20 minutes, I would have been like, oh, cool. We get a rundown of like some cool new features and how fun it is. And, we all get very excited about it. But 45 minutes, I have no idea. The idiot in me thinks there's going to be like some big surprise that none of us saw coming. But I've also known that Nintendo just hasn't been doing that lately. So I don't know what to expect. I hope we get to see a little more. I love when we see in the mind of Sakurai. And he's like, yeah, I've actually been working on this game like in a bunker underneath a volcano at the equator for the last 5 years. Something like that is what I hope. And yeah, maybe a glimpse into his amazing mind. I was gonna say his dark twisted mind, but that's not.
From the dark twisted mind of Masahiro Sakurai is that's where we're gonna get from Kirby Air Riders. I'm with you on it though. Okay, so 45 minutes, long time. Right? Maybe he's got a lot more to show than you can expect. But I mean, even then, like Kirby, the whole point of a Kirby, what was the original game called? Just Air Riders, Kirby's.
Just Air Ride.
Kirby's Air Ride. Yeah, that game was, the whole idea was one button. You're gonna have the control stick and then one button gameplay. It's something I think they said in the marketing for that. So it was not. The whole idea was don't be complex. It's got to be an easy racing game, and it had some depth to it. I mean, I wonder what they could possibly have here that can justify this. Do you think there's a chance that this is like, it's going to have a ton of extra content, a million unlockables, and they'll be teasing that sort of thing? I just really struggle to figure out how they can justify 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just gonna get introduced to the riders because originally
Yeah.
it was just ride. So we're gonna find out who and what else is in this game. But yeah, I'm struggling to figure out because I know like Sakurai doesn't miss and Kirby's
Yep.
wonderful, but I don't know that people get really excited about Kirby in the way that we did for well, okay. I'm talking myself out of this right now.
Yeah.
Because I never got excited for Donkey Kong until the Donkey Kong Bonanza. The Donkey Kong Bonanza is just like the best game on Switch 2 right now.
Uh-huh.
Maybe, one of the best games of the year. So, okay, I've talked myself out of it. I think they're going to surprise us and our jaws are going to be on the floor and we're going to be fired up and excited to play this. And we won't be able to wait a second more.
Yeah, I mean, like at this point, there's so much Kirby stuff for them to draw on. Kirby in the Forgotten Land was excellent. If they're going to be like, we're tying in all this stuff and making it feel like this central location that Kirby fans can go to and experience all these awesome things from the series. I could see Sakurai like being the kind of person that would want to do that for Kirby. He loves Kirby so much. It's like his number one. Him wanting to do right by the character. Yeah, I could see all that, and then I could also see Nintendo being like, "This is you're our number one, Sakurai. We need to make sure that you stick around and are happy, so you make us another Smash Brothers within the next 10 years." And so you have like a little bit of free reign, and if this is important to you, then it's important to us. And that's the sense I get from like what is happening here a little bit. Not that Nintendo doesn't believe in Kirby Air Riders. I'm sure they do. But I think this might be more about like kind of keeping him happy and giving him what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, they believed in Drag X Drive, so
exactly.
They're really,
so,
yeah.
I came around on Drag X Drive while I was playing it, and then every second between the gameplay was misery. It's so bad. It's such a bad game to actually do anything in. It just throws you like even when you're in there with friends. You go into these rooms and it just throws you in randomly, and sometimes you'll be on a team with your friends and sometimes you won't be. It's really it's so bad. Okay, so the other side of this, Seth, is that we're getting this Kirby Air Riders Direct tomorrow, 45 minutes, and then usually we get a longer big direct in September. That's probably still going to happen, right? Do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they still have to really hype up their fall lineup, and like right now all we know for sure, like the big game is Pokemon, which kind of like what else do they need anyway, but Prime 4 is going to be playable at Gamescom, which is going on right now, so we need to know like when can we play Prime 4, and then they're gonna not announce anything for Hollow Knight again, which it's always so fun.
Yep. Listen, they love torturing people, and they're just going to keep doing it. I think that's right. So the sense I get from all of this is that Kirby is the next thing out from them, and that's why this direct is happening now. It could be like as early as September, I guess. We don't have a date on it still, but it could be very soon after September. So they don't want to wait until the September direct to really start talking about that game. And then you're right. There's still a ton of stuff coming out this holiday. Whether that's Age of Imprisonment, the Musou game, or Pokemon, or Metroid Prime 4, obviously also needs a date. So yeah, they have some dates they got to nail down separate from that, but they probably want to like spread these things out a little bit. So yeah, I'm with you. I think we get this, and we still get that standard direct in September because they like to sell games during the holiday. It turns out Nintendo pretty good at that.
Yeah, they're super good at it. I think, like Switch 2 is the gift, like the holiday thing. It's going to be like whatever, the toy of the year that everyone needs to get. And thankfully, it's actually not that difficult to get, which is surprising.
Yeah, it's I still haven't like seen it myself in a store, but I've started hearing from more people that they are occasionally seeing it like sitting in a Target, and that's okay. That's pretty wild.
Hell yeah.
How are you feeling about the Switch 2 overall? Like, yeah, it's available. It's going to be the hot toy, but like, how are you feeling about it?
I'm such a friggin' lifelong Nintendo fanboy.
Yeah.
Like I still talk about how much the Wii U was underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, my opinion on the matter of Nintendo should probably not be taken too seriously. But I mean, they did it. They did exactly what they set out to do. They made a better Switch, and they didn't make it confusing. And they just, the big sort of selling point is it's just more Switch. It's just better graphics, 120 hertz refresh rate on the handheld screen. Your old games are going to look better. for free sometimes. Woo, that's pretty exciting. And then not for other ones, which is a little confusing and muddling. But Switch 2, personally, I love it. I probably will never play my original Switch again. I thought about like taking it with me when I was traveling, my OLED, and I was like, gross. That thing's
grody.
It's like reminding me of, things that I regret now. So as soon as I got like a PlayStation 1, the Super Nintendo went to like my friend's 8-year-old daughter. Like all my games, I was like, you could have this piece of crap junk. And now I'm doing it again. But this time I'm not giving away my Switch OLED. I'm just gonna ride on. I mean, I'm also, I don't know if you can see behind me, I kind of obsessively collect
Haven't
things,
noticed.
So.
Did not notice. Yeah. I multiple CRTs. That's something I recognize as a personal failing as well. I got 3 in this basement right now. I'm trying to I have one by the stairs, but like, I'll get rid of this one. I haven't moved it upstairs yet. They're heavy.
Ooh, they're very heavy.
They're very heavy. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm enjoying the Switch 2 quite a bit. It's what I wanted it to be. And now it's all about, hey, deliver the games. And Donkey Kong was so good. It's like, okay, they're going to keep delivering the games. And I'll be pretty happy with that. All right, so we'll try to talk over this direct tomorrow here on Giant Bomb, everybody. The problem is, like, now there's that, then we have the Bombcast, and then opening night live is in the afternoon. So,
oh damn,
might have to try to fit everything in. We'll see what we can do. Okay, let's head to the next story. Fairgames is now the latest live service shooter cancellation, if Michael Pachter is to be believed. Update, he isn't to be believed. But let's just go over this because let's talk about some Fairgames stuff. This is from Quentin O'Connor, basically on Michael Pachter's show, Pachter Factor, I think. He was talking about the live service strategy over at Sony. He was listing some things that had happened, and he was like getting around to Jade Raymond leaving. And then he followed that up with, and Fairgames was canceled. And it was clear, like, he was just kind of following a train of thought, and it wasn't really canceled. And he clarified that later. He updated, said, no, I don't know if it's been canceled. But Seth, I guess my question to you is, do you think that game's going to get canceled?
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I'm plugged into the video game sort of sphere. I don't know anything about Fairgames at all.
So, do you remember? Do you remember like seeing it ever? Because it was like, okay, so this was at the same time that they were talking about Concord. This was the other one from Jade Raymond's studio that she started up, and then PlayStation, I think, acquired that studio, and they were excited about it. And then recently, Jade Raymond left the company, was let go. I think the leadership there was a huge mix-up of leadership on the game. And I'll say the way I understand it is this is a game that had they not announced it and made a big deal about it, it probably would have been canceled. And the only, maybe not the only reason, but maybe one of the reasons it hasn't been canceled, and again, this is the sense I get from kind of sniffing around it, I don't know for sure, is that, that like they aren't sure what to do with the game. They're going to have to rework it, and they just might not have the appetite to do that. But at the same time, they've already had bad PR from delaying Destiny 2, or not Destiny, Marathon. They delayed Marathon, and then they also had to cancel Concord 2 weeks after it came out. So they're just like trying to avoid another bad headline, but that means they're just going to cancel it eventually. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just don't think we're ever going to see Fairgames, is I guess what my gut says to me. When I kind of put all that context out there, Seth, I don't think there's any reason to believe anything different, but do you?
Oh, no. I think what the move is instead, they don't cancel it, but they put it on indefinite hold, which is they will say
sneaky way of doing it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole sort of live game thing that Sony has not been doing great with, it feels very much like all these decisions were made, and they have to be because it takes so long to develop games now, but these were all made like 2018. And then the sort of live service, I don't know if I would say came and went, but it's not what everybody is after.
It wasn't the gold mine that everyone thought it was.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't lead to MAUs as
right.
And they won't hit their, I can't think of any other acronyms, but yeah. So I don't know. Is that like that bubble bath game that's still going on there? The like Splatoon like shooter that Sony put out.
Oh yeah. The Square Enix's
yeah.
God, what was that called? Soapy shooter?
Foam Stars.
Foam Stars. Thank you, Sean.
Foam Stars. Stars. Oh yeah.
I think it's
That's
still
actually a good name.
I think it's still a going concern. I mean I don't know if anyone's playing it, but that's not one that like okay, but that was a Square Enix thing as well. So
yeah, that's right.
it was always kind of like them being like, we'll try this and see what happens. Square, who knows if there's anyone even in charge of Square Enix. But for PlayStation, like they said in their last earnings call, their CFO, I believe, that they want to keep doing live service stuff. They want to figure this out. Yeah, they've had some mistakes, but they've learned from those, and they still have had successes. And they listed stuff like MLB The Show and a handful.
That's actually a good one.
Yes, right. They do have success in this space. Some of it's like, that's like you're the baseball game. So when you do your the thing, there's also a roadmap there for you to do Ultimate Team. That's the thing that can really work and make a lot of money. So yeah, that has worked. And then when you've tried other stuff, okay, yeah, then Helldivers 2, that's worked as well. But are you going to be able to replicate that? So they have a handful of successes. And then they said, when we look at the money, a lot of our money has just suddenly come from live service games. So we like that. We want to keep doing it. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like chasing the live service trend with the same genres of like there was going to be the Concord shooter and the Fairgames shooter and the Marathon shooter. It felt like that was never a great idea. And now it feels like that has been borne out. It maybe wasn't, but they also seemed too far in to really abandon any of it. So if you're Sony, what are you thinking, Seth?
Oh, yeah, that sunk cost fallacy, it'll get you every time.
Every time.
Always, it's crazy to me that giant corporations will do that, but they do it and it doesn't work out for them. But yeah, obviously I don't have an answer that I would say, oh, this will fix it for them.
No way.
But you're right. Like just kind of doing the same stuff that everybody's doing, the same genres. It's a crowded field and the stuff that's in there is entrenched and it's like super popular. But like I had completely forgotten about MLB The Show, and that is a super good baseball game that appeals to people who want to play a baseball game. Yep. Like it's not it doesn't have mainstream appeal. Like I love the Boston Red Sox. I will always hate the New York Yankees, as everyone should. But even I don't dip my toes into that. But there's this like crazy niche audience that is going to support something like that. Like I have a friend, he plays every MLB show every year, and he's always like, oh, you should play and do, whatever, my player.
Yeah.
Come up through the minors and get, drafted. And I don't. But that's, I think, where Sony should kind of be focusing. Like, oh, here's a small niche audience. And I think that's probably where you'll find the most success long term is to exploit those, not exploit, but you know what I mean? Like, find those audiences that
take your opportunities. Yeah.
Like, these people want to throw money at a baseball game because it's the only one left. And for a long time, like, there really wasn't a baseball game. I think, EA had Triple Play, and I don't remember when the last one they put out was, but the show, maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like it wasn't even around for a little while there. And then it came back, and it's just been a really good baseball game ever since.
Yeah, the show definitely it dominates baseball. Like that's the one baseball. I mean, that might be the only one that is like a full sim that also has the license. I think that's the case. Yeah. I can't remember, but I don't think that's a NFL situation where it's like the NFL won't do that. Won't do a deal with anyone else. The MLB might, but they're the one game in town. The show, and then there's some smaller games, some really good arcade style games that have really popped up. So you're right. Like they have an opportunity there where they can sort of corner a market, and that has worked for them. They also Gran Turismo is another one. It's like, okay, Gran Turismo 7, like that's a live service thing where it's okay, like the somewhat sim racing thing on console, you can dominate that. You have the name brand, you're good to go. You have the name brand and the sort of prestige to deliver games like that. So that makes sense. The ones that continue to not make sense are Fairgames or even like Factions from Naughty Dog. All accounts was that game was very fun to play. It was just not thought through in terms of how they were going to support it. So Naughty Dog was going to have to turn into this live service support studio, and that was a terrifying concept to them. And even if they did do that, they were going to have to like maybe get comfortable with putting Ronald McDonald and other kinds of silly skins in their game, and they weren't comfortable with that either. And so it's like, how much are we really thinking through like how these games can even really work in the way that you need them to? And really, need them to is such a leading thing, because it's like they're just looking at Fortnite and be like, we should be making money like that. And it's just, that is not the right way to be thinking about any of these things. So we'll see what happens with Fairgames. I'm wondering when we see it again, and if we ever see it again. I guess on that front, I'll point out I've heard, and this one I feel comfortable saying, yeah, you can go write headlines about this if you want. They're planning a state of play, or maybe a showcase, but probably a state of play for the end of September, or before the end of September. So we're gonna get updates from Sony here pretty soon, and I don't think Fairgames shows up at that thing. I think they're gonna just focus on a handful of other stuff. Let's talk about what you're expecting from Sony beyond the live service strategy. Do you feel like they're going to be able to get back on track with delivering the kinds of games that people mostly bought a PS5 to play?
I think they've moved on, and they just haven't said anything yet. It's another case where a lot of these games were developed, and then the pandemic, or they were in development, then the pandemic hit, and everything got screwed up, and now I feel like they've never fully recovered. Sometimes when you're running, when you're a kid and you run too fast and your legs just start going crazy, and you're doing whatever you can to keep from falling down. I feel like they're in the beginnings of that. Our legs are going crazy, and they might be able to catch it. I mean, it's Sony. They can do it. I mean, they're the most successful console out there right now, other than the Switch, obviously. But for modern generation power 4K consoles, it's the PS5. And also, PlayStation fans, they'll stick by them through thick and thin. It's like they took marriage vows for sickness and in health, for better or for worse. So I think just that alone will carry them. As far as what they're putting out for output, I don't know, man. Those huge AAA franchises were such a defining characteristic of the end of the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 era. But I don't know with the development costs if they pay off like they used to, but I feel like that's still where their heart and strategy lies, is in these gigantic, enormous games that can then, become HBO television series and things like that, these prestige games. So yeah, I think they've changed and turned their attention to whatever the next generation is, whether that is a PlayStation 6 or if that is just making games that run on, everything and anything, like what Microsoft is doing. But it's a bummer. I love, I was so obsessed with my PlayStation 1. I was completely over, I went all over the state trying to get a PlayStation 2 when it came out. And then I kind of fell off. I'd missed the PlayStation 3 because it was more money than I could afford at the time. Bought a 360 and fell in love. And I would love to get back to that core Sony PlayStation energy that I used to feel. The closest I've come actually is Gran Turismo 7. That still has that old sort of, and it's because it's a Japanese developed game, and it still has that sort of old PlayStation feel to it, even though you do have to spend some money to get all the cool cars that you want. Yeah,
but it's you're right that it still feels like it's made by that team because it was. I think that for people's expectations for Sony, I think it's probably stick with status quo with the hopes that Wolverine gets announced or reintroduced here again at some point. I wouldn't expect that for the direct or for the state of play that would be coming in September. Feels like still too early for that. And even really some games that are coming out next year from Sony, that a spin-off God of War game, the one that's going to be like a Metroidvania, that one might show up at this state of play, but even that, it might be too early. So I really don't know what they would have in here, other than I guess they can talk up Ghost of Yotei one more time. That game is out.
God, yeah.
It's out October, I believe. I think that's October. Yep. So yeah, that's probably what they do there. And then they have some partner stuff, and they probably have a handful of games that are from partners that are a bigger in terms of the size of the deal, bigger in scope. Something maybe more akin to what has happened with Death Stranding, where we're going to work with a partner and get something exclusive for a little bit. They might do a couple of those just to fill things out. So we're still kind of waiting for them to reload a lot of their partners. But at any moment, that dam's going to break, and Cory Barlog will be back with his games, and a bunch of others will be back with their games, but maybe it's still too early. So, state of play, get excited for it or don't. They can always be a crapshoot. All right.
Yeah.
We will have plenty of headlines to get back to. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. If you want to skip out on these, go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. In the meantime, we'll be right back. Jan, my computer's sick. I've decided it's time to start building a new one. I just don't know where to start.
Grubb, if your computer is sicky poo, you got to start with MSI, which just dropped something big in its brand new Z890 and B860 Intel motherboards.
Are those the motherboards that unlock the power of the Intel Core Ultra Series 2 CPUs?
Yes, sir. These Mobos, as we're calling them on the streets, are powerhouses for gaming, streaming, and whatever intense tasks you need to throw at them.
Okay, but Jan, you know me. I'm scared of tools. That screwdriver's so sharp.
It's okay, bud. MSI made them Jeff-proof and maybe Dan-proof as well, which means they're easy to work with. No more wrestling with tiny little screws or confusing manuals. We're talking easy debug LEDs that tell you exactly what's going on. Toolless installs for your M2 drives and GPUs, or GPUs. We're calling them GPUs too now.
Okay, hell yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. MSI has that modern BIOS as well that looks like it was actually made for humans to use, not some relic from 2003. Give me more of that.
Yes, that's right. It's going to be so easy to get secure boots on the ground. It's like PC building on easy mode, Grubb. And here's the best part. Giant Bombcast listeners, MSI is giving you 10% off these new, regularly priced Z890 and B860 boards. Just head over to us-store.msi.com and use promo code BOMBCAST at checkout. Boom, instant savings.
I'm going to stack that discount. They allow you to do that. And with MSI's got ongoing promotions, that's potentially going to score me up to $120 in Steam codes. It's basically free games just for upgrading. Everyone listening should do the same.
So if you're ready to upgrade your setup, do not wait. Visit us-store.msi.com and use the code BOMBCAST, BOMCAST, all in lowercase, and give your PC the upgrade it deserves.
MSI, making PC building less of a headache and a lot more fun.
Mobo!
All right, it's Game Mess Mornings. I'm Jeff Grubb. That's Seth Macy. We're getting back into the headlines with Shenmue 3 Enhanced announced for PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo, and PC. This comes from Sal Romano at Gamatsu. Publisher NN Games and developer YeezNet have announced Shenmue 3 Enhanced for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo, and PC. Release date was not announced. Users who own the original Shenmue 3 for PlayStation 4 or PC will be offered an upgrade path. Shenmue 3 back. This was never a great game. Did you ever play Shenmue 3?
No, I did not. I completely missed the bus on Shenmue 3 because I didn't play Shenmue 1 or 2 because I didn't have a Dreamcast. So
yeah,
my brother was a huge fan though. He's like that.
I played Shenmue at the time. I never loved Shenmue, so maybe I'm not a great judge of Shenmue 3. But yeah, Shenmue 3 did seem to disappoint even the fans. But people still want that story completed. Should people take this as any hope that Shenmue is really back, and this might one day lead to a Shenmue 4 and eventually a Shenmue 9?
Well, I mean, why not? Just let your heart follow your heart. Just whatever. Let your imagination run wild. If you want to have a little glimmer of hope that Shenmue is coming back, and you're looking at your Y2K compliant Dreamcast running, what was it, Windows 2000 on it. I say go for it. I say let your spirit fly. Chase that Shenmue dream. It'll come back. You can clip your toenails and do all the fun things that Shenmue is known for.
The game is an enhanced version of Shenmue 3 featuring improved visuals, performance, and quality of life updates. Key enhancements include sharper 4K textures, DLSS and FSR support, increased NPC density, and an optional classic camera mode. Gameplay tweaks offer adjustable stamina, health restoration before fights, and reduced money barriers. The game also includes improved interactions like cutscene skips and expanded QTE timing windows, along with streamlined menus. All major changes can be toggled to allow players to preserve the original experience if you want. Yeah, this feels just like, hey, let's do more with Shenmue. This is a series that people do care about, but I don't know if it ever leads to Shenmue 4. Hey, you know what? I hope so. Those people deserve some nice things in their life. Maybe it'll happen with them with this eventually.
I mean, I think it's probably more likely it's, every time anything remotely related to the Mother franchise drops anywhere, people are like, that's it, it's coming back, baby. And it's not. It's never coming back.
It just feels like Nintendo's never going to actually do it. I know that there's this idea that there's a break glass in case of emergency situation where Nintendo will finally release Mother. I don't even know if that exists. I'm slowly playing through Mother 3 on one of those little Chinese handhelds I got. It's very good. People should get a chance to play it. That fan translation's out there and everyone should hop on. Okay, let's keep moving here. Skate developer says its soundtrack will change with each new season of content. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. Yeah, I thought this is an interesting way of doing things. The developer of Skate has shed more light on the game's live service content, including the addition of a constantly updating soundtrack. The fourth game in the Skate series is set to release in early access by the end of summer, and developer Full Circle says the first season will start shortly after this. Yes, Skate will have seasons and seasonal content, the studio wrote in the latest edition of its official blog, The Grind. The world, game features, in-game events, and even the soundtrack will be updated to celebrate each new season. According to Full Circle, each season in Skate will last around 3 months, with each season adding new cosmetics and customization items, more music, and more to do. So it sounds like more music will be added, not necessarily they'll swap out the entire soundtrack. Although if they have to, this is a good way of doing things. Like, one of the problems with any sort of game that has real world music, actual music from artists, is it always seems like those licenses come with an expiration date where eventually they just can't be in the game anymore, or if they are, you're going to cost the studio a ton more money. So sort of having a living game where you can swap music in and out is maybe a pretty good solution for this game that I get the sense from EA they don't want to cost too much. Like, they're happy they're happy they're doing Skate. They're happy to serve that audience as long as the budget remains sort of reasonable. And I think that's fair, because otherwise we just don't get a game like this. So if that means, okay, we'll keep the soundtrack fresh with new music, and then some other tracks might fall off, I can live with that. Does that sound like a decent idea to you, Seth?
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. This, with a new game, the Pro Skater 3 and 4 not having hardly any of the songs was a huge disappointment. I know Tony Hawk said that he just wanted people to find new music.
Yeah, but we know.
Which, sure, we know. But I mean, on the other hand, if they are cycling through, then it's almost certainly just a licensing nightmare to have them all in this game, like this live service game, forever. So they just were like, hey, it's not a bug, guys. It's a feature. You're gonna get some new music, and it's gonna be rad. I mean, whatever it takes. I know people love the Skate franchise. Mm-hmm. I respect the Skate franchise.
Same.
But I was more of not even more. I was 100% a Tony Hawk Pro Skater dude. So yeah, I guess it's fine. It's fine. Whatever happened to being able to use Spotify on your consoles? Is that just a thing that doesn't exist anymore?
I think it does still work, but it's just not as seamless. Or even just having a USB stick with your music or whatever.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah, you could just put your music on Xbox 360 and replace the soundtrack of any game. That was such a cool thing.
Yeah. It was the best.
I remember on Xbox One, early on Xbox One, they had the basically the Windows store with all the apps. So I would download this podcast app, and it would play podcasts on my Xbox One, and that would replace the soundtrack for games. And it was that was pretty neat to actually do. I don't know if stuff like that still works. You're right. Although that is one thing that Tony Hawk said. He's like, hey, if you want the original songs from 3 and 4 while you're playing, just go turn them on Spotify and listen to them while you're playing.
Yeah.
And it's I get that at this point, where it's this stuff is so easily accessible in so many places that maybe it's not as precious to have every song in there that I once wanted in there.
It changes the way that the association to certain songs with the Tony Hawk franchise is so deeply embedded in
so strong
that it does change the game. And when I do get one of those songs that I recognize, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Now we're back, baby.
I was just to myself singing "If You Must" by Dell, and
That was the one that I had in mind.
Of course,
too. That's crazy.
That one's in there, thankfully.
Yeah.
So and it had to be like that one was like actually a requirement for the game, and they understood that. But I was thinking it to myself, and even my wife, who has played games for sure, but she hasn't played a Tony Hawk in forever. She's like, "Is that from Tony Hawk?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. That's it's from Tony Hawk. That's honestly where probably the vast majority of people know it from." Yeah. Okay. I am looking forward to Skate. I'm a Tony Hawk guy as well, like 100% a Tony Hawk guy. I've always, because of the respect for Skate, wanted to give it like a real chance. I played it once a long time ago, maybe on Xbox 360, and just couldn't. It just didn't do anything for me. And now I'm in a different place where it's like I kind of want to see the analog stick movement of those games and really get into that. I'm going to check this game out. I also like the idea of the structure of this new Skate of go into the city, hang out online with your friends, build some like courses for each other and goof off, and maybe then go ride off and try to find some objectives and do stuff on your own, and then come back later and hang out with your friends some more. I think that's a good idea for a Skate game. We'll see if they're going to be able to pull it off and actually make it something that people want to experience.
I certainly hope so. Like I said, like people who are Skate fans are crazy Skate fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just not one of them. I love that the analog sort of sticks sort of mimic the foot movements that you have to make, and I really do respect that. But at the same time, maybe learn fingerboarding. I mean, that's something you just do any place, anytime. So.
At the there was that like kind of punk rock video game that I can't remember the name of now, that at Summer Game Fest, and they had the set all decorated with like 90s stuff, including like tech decks. And I got a tech deck and I got a kickflip and did it in our Travlog video, and I was so like, hell yeah, got to show off.
Oh, was it that game that you're like a corporate like stooge and you have to?
It's the game where you're a teenager who's about to like leave your friends. Mixtape. Thank you, chat. Mixtape. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game looks awesome. Okay, let's keep going here. A remake of the first Rayman game was reportedly canceled in 2021. This is from Instant Gaming News. Last May, we learned that Ubisoft was working on a new Rayman game, and it is still doing that, I believe. It would be a AAA title that could very well be a remake. Interestingly enough, such a project was already canceled once in the past, according to a former developer at the French publisher. A remake of the first Rayman game was canceled in 2021. It was initially called Rayman Forever, then the story of Rayman. Rayman. I'm saying Raymond. While this project was unfortunately not to see the light of day, Rayman is nevertheless expected to make a comeback soon. So yeah, I know I have the headline over here that says Rayman isn't back. Rayman might still be back. But yeah, they were going to do this once already. I guess really, Seth, the reason I included this is to ask you, what would you do with Rayman? Because I like Rayman, would love to see more Rayman games. I think they could just keep doing that, right? But I don't know. What do you think?
I would love, like, was it Rayman Legends? One of the best platforming games of all time. Like,
I'm right there with
probably you. Like top 5, and like everything about it. It was so charming. Every character was like weird and quirky and fun. There was not one in the bunch that was like a dud or felt just like it was created by committee. The music was awesome. There were those like levels that actually were musical, or maybe I'm confused.
No, you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like probably a 10/10 platformer for me, and I would just love to see either that one come back in 4K with like 60 maybe even like 120 hertz, just like buttery smooth. Oh no, I said buttery smooth.
Buttery smooth 30 frames per second is what we're gonna get.
Take that out. Yeah, take that out of the
Sean, edit it.
File. But they're wonderful games, and we don't have anything that's like that anymore. We have Nintendo doing platformers. We have Astrobot, which is like a 3D platformer, but I just want like that Rayman Legends is so good. And if they brought that back and maybe threw in some new content, slap it on Switch 2, day one purchase for me. My kids went crazy for that game. We played it together all the time. I have very fond memories. Very good. I think I had that one for Wii U. So let's go.
That is, you said like a 10 out of 10 platform. I'm with you. It is the best like cooperative 2D platformer. Like all the new Super Mario Brothers ones that had 4-player, I like those, but they're chaos and actually in a lot of circumstances, not very much fun. Where Rayman just like figured all that stuff out. It was fun, and it was because of its like floaty physics and stuff like that. It enabled it for a wide range of people to be able to play, and yet still found some challenge for people that knew what they were doing.
So good,
great games for sure. So,
oh my god.
I want Rayman to come back. However he comes back, I don't necessarily need a remake of the first game. I think what they probably should do there is, go get what is it, Digital Eclipse? Let them go do a classic collection of early Rayman games up through the 3D game, and go to town on the history of that. That would be sick. I would love that. And then let this team that's making a new Rayman game make something that is the successor to Legends. Or, I would take a new 3D game as well if they want to really go for it, but I don't need that. I would be happy with the Legends follow-up for sure.
Yeah. For me, Rayman is a 2D side scroller. So just do that again. I'll give you my money.
Yeah, well, we're ready to give you money, Ubisoft, for once. You should
take my money. Yeah, right. I won't even wait 2 weeks until it's half price. Right. I will buy it on launch day.
We'll show up for it this time. Okay, next story. Roblox sued by Louisiana for perpetuating platform where, quote, child predators thrive. This is from Michael McWhorter at Polygon. Maker of game creation system Roblox is being sued by the state of Louisiana in an effort to hold the company, quote, accountable for the facilitation and distribution of child sex abuse material and for the sexual exploitation of Louisiana's minor children. It's not just Louisiana. Chris Hansen made a public statement that his team has been looking into Roblox now for months. And it's overdue. This needs to happen, but Roblox is handling this in maybe the worst way I could imagine. They are denying. Oh, God, no. They're denying. They're saying there's no problem here. Look away. And then they recently banned one of the people that has been going on their platform to act as a vigilante to find these people that are predators and expose them. That's who's getting banned from the game. And then when asked about it, they're like, oh, there's nothing to see here. Roblox is becoming a little bit of the face of gaming for a generation of both kids and parents that have those kids that are playing Roblox. The idea of not taking this as serious as possible and not doing everything possible to prevent this from happening because you're making a lot of money, and maybe you're making more money because there are people on here spending money because they are predators. And if you're taking that money, you deserve all the hell that's coming your way, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's, I don't even,
yeah.
It's such a disgusting topic that the only thing that I see that other than shutting this down, the most enjoyable part would be Chris Hansen being like, have a seat. And a little Roblox guy comes in and is completely exposed. But yeah, it's, I'd always heard that that's what was going on, but I didn't really know if that was a real thing or if that was just like an 80s satanic panic where we were all told
moral panics
that devil worshippers were everywhere, but now it sounds like, oh, this is maybe real. If it had been any other state than Louisiana, I'd be like, whoa. Louisiana is a little crooked, if you know what I mean. They got all them alligators. They get
right there in the government, wearing human suits. Yeah,
they are. So they're just licking their chops so they can just have munch time. But no, this is, I don't know. I should not be making jokes. It's disgusting and horrible. And they're just the statement you make is we are looking into these and we are going to act with just act. We're going to do whatever we can and everything in our power to remove this awful situation from our game, and we want to regain your trust, and to just not do that is crazy to me.
Yeah, I think it's there was that problem on YouTube where people were finding any video featuring children had creeps in the comments talking to one another and sharing timestamps, and YouTube did this big thing where you just can't comment on these videos anymore. Any video aimed at kids, featuring kids, comments are turned off. And it's that's an extreme thing, but it's, when you think about it, it's not that extreme. People are here to watch the videos. Not a bad idea. Just let them watch the videos. And I think the reality is it's probably much worse than I want to think about most of the time. And then if it all, when it comes to these companies trying to just distract from it, it's okay. I do think the only thing that they should be saying in that situation is what you said, Seth. We're looking into it. We're doing more. Here's what we have done, which is what Roblox has said. Like, we have parental controls and all these things, and we've introduced some other safety features. Fine. But then you don't say, and that's enough. We're like, and we're doing more. This is a never ceasing battle. We're always going to find new ways of dealing with any problems like this at all. And if they want to come out and say Roblox is not an especially bad case compared to anything else, prove that. Like, come out and show us that that's the case. Because right now it just seems like you're trying to hide something because you're making so much money and you don't want to turn off that spigot. And that's very frustrating. Yeah. All right, last couple of stories here. There's a rumor that Call of Duty Black Ops 7's final campaign mission is going to be a multiplayer extraction experience. This is from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. Yes, so this is from, I think that their Inside Gaming had the original story here. Black Ops 7 could be getting a buck wild with its campaign finale, as new rumors point to the last mission not just being a big cinematic showdown for you and your co-op partners, but a massive 32-player extraction mission.
Oh. Whoa.
It's a very strange thing, but it's like, you know, they probably do want to like try out some other ideas and maybe even like introduce people to something like, hey, here's a new online multiplayer game mode that we're trying to go back to. They've done extraction before. I don't know. Does this sound like something that's appealing to you? I'm definitely like, you know what? Get weird with your single player campaigns. I kind of want to see what that's like.
Yeah, I have reviewed the last few multiplayer sides of Call of Duty, but I don't really play the campaign at all. Even when people are like, "Oh, dude, it's so sick, it's so fun," I still just like, but I'd rather just play multiplayer constantly. So if they do something that's new and exciting and a little twist, especially with like 32 players, that sounds awesome. Actually,
yeah.
I just think like logistically, you're going to end up with a lot of butt heads, and like when I play online, I either play completely by myself. And the first thing I do when I install Call of Duty is I go into the settings and I mute like everybody else because I don't want to listen to them. And then it's just like me and the rest of my friends, the Beef Lords, in our own like private Discord server, just playing and having a great time. So I don't know. If it were like a 4-player extraction, that would be a lot easier for me to swallow. But 32 people you get some real turds out there.
Yeah. I wonder if, is it going to be like a journey situation where it's like it's just kind of throwing a bunch of people who happen to be playing this part of the game in there at the same time all together? Or will this be a selectable mode that people who beat the game can come back to, sort of like maybe a FromSoft style sort of thing? I don't know. It's going to be weird. And then what is this part of an effort to get another extraction shooter up off the ground from Call of Duty? I kind of feel like it must be, although or maybe it's them just like testing out some gameplay ideas that could show up in their other modes. Who knows? But I do think that, hey, if you're going to be Call of Duty and you're going to have these single player campaigns in every single one of these games, and yeah, I usually skip them as well. You should either treat them as completely throwaway or as playgrounds for experimentation, and that's what this sounds like. So I'm kind of like open to this idea and want to see how it actually works. I think it makes me more likely that I will play this than before. I probably would have completely skipped it. Maybe I'll check it out to see this for myself.
Yeah.
Last story here.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Last story: Dragon Ball Sparking Zero runs at 30 frames per second on Switch 2. The breakdown here is it's on Switch and Switch 2. It's 720p when docked on Switch 1 and 810p docked on Switch 2. Or I'm not sure.
Let's go.
Yes. No, it's 810p when docked or portable on Switch 2. Right. The fun resolutions. Just picking random numbers out of a hat. This is maybe notable because it's like, okay, wait. It's 30 frames per second on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. And you're only going to go from 720p to 810p on Switch 2. Like, what's happening here? It sounds like this is maybe a problem with like Unreal Engine and the destructibility, putting a ton of problems onto the CPU. So the Switch 2, very powerful in terms of its GPU, actually surprisingly so. Its CPU is kind of still PS4 level. So it does sound like that might be the thing holding it back here. Although it could also just be poor optimization. Maybe an update fixes this in the long run. But apparently, like I was like looking into it, and fans of this game were talking about the Switch 2, and they were expecting this. They're like, yeah, this game is really hard on the CPU. We're not expecting more than 30 frames per second on Switch 2. So always a bummer to like see like a game like that. You're like, hey, finally games can run at 60 frames per second on Switch 2 if it was on Switch 1. It's like, there are still some issues that will prevent that from happening, or at least make it a headache to happen. And developers like this will just be like, 30 frames per second is fine. I guess we talked a little bit about how you felt about the Switch 2. How you feel about its power so far in delivering games and like the quality of playing games in that experience?
Oh, I don't have any complaints whatsoever.
Same.
But I'm also like, people get mad, but I also sometimes say like, I'll play a 360 game sometimes, and I'll be like, this was fine. This was about as good as I needed. The Switch 2 does way better than that, and I think what's going to end up happening is Nintendo's just going to know exactly what their hardware does, and they're going to make the best looking and the best running games, and everybody else is just going to kind of be like, well, here you guys go. It's 810p. That is the resolution that doesn't exist on any monitor that you own in your house. The 30 frames per second thing is a bummer, but Cyberpunk showed that if you kind of put your heart and soul into it, you can make a Switch 2 game work really well on the Switch 2 that ran on everything else, looking obviously way better on like a whatever PC or a PlayStation 5. But yeah, I think third parties are gonna just keep doing this to us, and Nintendo's just gonna keep making beautiful, wonderful games that run excellent, like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. That if the reason most people bought a Switch 2 probably is to play Nintendo games, and so most people are not going to be too bothered by this. And then and a lot of these games will still at least get ported, so they'll be there if you want to play them on your Switch 2 and you don't have something else. So it's like, if you want to play Sparking Zero, maybe you can accept this. I think 30 frames per second for that game would be kind of a bummer, but I'm not going to play on my Switch 2. Yeah.
No, this is for people who like, this is their console. They're not necessarily like in the video game hobby is in the way that we are. It's just like a family. Little Jimmy loves Dragon Ball, and there's a game that we could get him for Christmas, and little Jimmy doesn't know any better, and he'll just play it. And because he doesn't know that it runs so much better on whatever PC, PlayStation 5. So yeah, that's what this is. And I'm assuming they figure it's going to make money, or they just would have never done the port in the first place.
I bet Dragon Ball games just sell fine on Nintendo platforms. But that audience has a lot of crossover there. All right, that does it for the headlines. We're going to get to the new poll question. As a reminder, of course, we don't do poll questions on Friday anymore. We do the Bomb 12. Here's one last look at that Bomb 12 from last week, the games that matter to people who are really playing games. Will Donkey Kong Bonanza still be number one at the end of this week? We'll find out on Friday. In the meantime, we have a new poll question. Do you think Fairgames will get canceled? Yes or no? We'll talk about that on Game Mess Mornings here on Giant Bomb on Wednesday. Speaking of Giant Bomb, we will have Mitch owning Mondays in one way or another. So I don't think we're going to be able to do Miss today because Jan is out on assignment, and I'm going to go get out on assignment as well because I got to take my van in to get the air conditioning fixed. It's too hot for school to start, and those kids got to be in there. I don't want them to be miserable. So I'm going to take the rest of the day off, but I think Mitch is planning something, maybe some Civ for the afternoon, and then yes, I'm like looking forward to watching him play some of that. And then Mega Man tonight, which of course, Seth, as we all know, means Monday evening gaming at Mike's at night. It's an acronym, everybody. That's right. And no Mega Man playing allowed. He'll be back with some game this evening as well. In the meantime, I think we will have the rest of the week as normal. Bombcast tomorrow. We'll try to figure out what those talkovers look like. And then Blight Club's back on Wednesday. I'm still playing Jurassic Park Jeff Passer. It's a hell of a thing, man. It's really interesting. I'm kind of like learning to love it in a really, really sick way.
Stockholm syndrome kind of.
Oh yeah. Like it's like, at least you tried and you're doing some interesting stuff. Plenty of that stuff for the rest of the week. Looking forward to it. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Seth, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about video games, man. Dude, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome. I love to talk about video games. I made a career out of it, actually. So
good thinking. Yeah, that worked out. Yeah.
It did, thankfully.
We love having you. I just love seeing you at stuff. And so, we'll get you on here more often. This was great. We'll do it again. Sure. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. You're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.